This is Jacob Star 13 here, and today I'm going to be doing a World 11 for the 2013-14 season, and it's going to be up until, I think, about 2 weeks ago, because that's when I started doing all the statistics for this, all the goals scored, stuff like that. So I'm going to start off in goal, and you might be surprised at a couple of these things, but this is purely statistics, not in-game. Um, If so, there might have been a couple of changes, but overall, um, it's pretty predictable. Well, sort of. Mainly just for a couple positions, I guess. You could probably guess the three forwards. But anyways, Casillas is going to be in goal. Obviously, the second choice is Neuer, and Neuer has done amazing this season, but Casillas has done better. He's got more clean sheets per game, less goals conceded per game. So. And then the first center back, I think I clicked center back. Yeah, the first center back is going to be Benatia from Roma, and he has done amazing this season. Lots of players in Roma have done amazing this season. Um, and Benatia, one of the best center backs in the world at this point. He's had a very, very good season. He's got upgraded in FIFA, and he is the best center back by far, statistically speaking. And he's actually in, I think, the top 5 players. Um, yeah, he's the 5th best player in the world for this season, statistically speaking, simply because of how well he's done for Roma. And the other center back is going to be Dante. And again, Bayern Munich have done well, and Dante has done well with them, keeping lots of clean sheets. And he's almost as good as Benatia, but not quite. Still really good, but um, there's a couple other center backs. There's also a bench. I've included the bench, so I'll go over that near the end of the video. And then the left back this one's a surprise, and it's going to be Kurzawa from Monaco. I think it is. Yeah, Monaco, who in game is pretty bad. He's good for career mode, I guess, but he has had an amazing season with Monaco. He's done really well. He's got a high rating in WhoScored.com. He hasn't had an inform in FIFA yet, but he's done pretty good for Monaco. Even though Monaco have had a few disappointing games, he's definitely one of the best players on their team, and he's just been really good in that left back position. And then on the right hand side, it's going to be Azpilicueta, and obviously, if I was choosing this lineup, I'd probably put Lam there as the best right back in the world. But statistically speaking, he is better, only slightly, simply because he has more tackles, possibly more clean sheets. No, more tackles, more interceptions, more clearances, and I think slightly more assists. In goals. But anyways, so he's very, very slightly better than um, Philip Lahm. And then on to the two center mids. Now, one of them might surprise you, the other one probably not. The first one is going to be Van der Vaart. He's been the only good thing about Hamburger. I forget which one it is this season. Not this season. I forget which one it is, that team. But he's been the only good thing for their team this season. Otherwise, they've been junk. They did pull a surprise win against Dortmund recently, but other than that, they've been pretty bad this season. Well, more than pretty bad. But Van der Vaart has done well. He's got some goals, got some assists. He's been passing good, all that stuff. And then the other one, you might have been able to guess, there's one or two players really to go here. And it's going to be Xavi, not Iniesta. Iniesta hasn't actually done very well this season. Other than his passing accuracy, he's got hardly any goals or assists, and he hasn't been as good as last season. And anyways, on to the offensive mid. Now, you could put Ribery here, but really Ribery is a left mid, and you all know who is going to take the left mid spot in this team. That's why I've included the bench just for the players that weren't quite good enough to get into the squad. But the center offensive mid is going to be Bale, simply because he can play at center offensive mid, he can play at left wing, he can play at right wing, he can even play up at striker, and he can play in that offensive mid position. I've tried to keep these to their FIFA positions for this 11. There is one player that's in a different position, and you'll understand why when it gets to him. But Bale had a very good season with Real Madrid after this first couple games where he had some injury problems and fitness problems. He's done very well. I say definitely the second best player on Real Madrid. Some people might say Benzema. Benzema hasn't really had that amazing of a season so far. He has done well recently, like the past couple of months. That's about it. And the left wing obviously is going to be Cristiano Ronaldo, and there's not really much to say about him. It's pretty self-explanatory. He has, at the time when I recorded all this information, he had 31 goals and 8 assists in 26 games. So, absolutely amazing. 7.6 shots per game. That's more than anyone else in the world. More than any other player in the top 5 leagues by about, 2.8. So there's also that. And anyways, so he's done completely amazing this season, and I'm predicting him to beat Messi's record of goals in a calendar year. He just got 2 goals today for Portugal against Cameroon in their 5-1 win. One of the goals was pretty lucky. The other one was pretty good, though. And anyways, on to the striker. Now this is where it might get a little bit surprising for these next two positions, and it's going to be Luis Suarez, who, along with Ronaldo, has been absolutely amazing this season. Earned himself an upgrade in FIFA, and he, at the time of recording these statistics, had 23 goals and 8 assists in 20 games. Absolutely amazing. And the only reason that he hasn't scored more goals really is because of the first, I think, 7 or so games that he didn't play at the beginning of the season because of the biting incident. But after that, he's been completely amazing for Liverpool. Hasn't scored that many goals in the past few games for Liverpool, but he has still played well and still got himself a couple of assists. Still been an important part of the team. Him and Sturridge are really starting to do well together. And anyway, so he is better there. He's higher rated than Messi this season. If you were going to rank these players, it would be number 1 Ronaldo, number 2 Suarez, number 3 Messi. Ribery would be number 4. And anyways, so due to Messi not being there, and due to there being no real standout right midfielders this season, I went ahead and put Messi over at the right wing position because he can play there, and this formation would work if you played it. Messi could still play sort of the striker or center forward role while playing slightly out wide. But so there's the starting 11. Now on to the substitutes, and the first one, I'm going to go from striker to goalkeeper here. I have a striker, left mid, right mid, offensive mid, center back, left back, and goalkeeper. I didn't want to use all strikers or all center backs or whatever. So in the striker position, it's kind of surprising. You might think Ibrahimovic would go here, but Aguero is slightly better than him. They've both done really well at the. This player's up here. In the season, and they both, as you can see there, Aguero's had 2 informs this season. Ibrahimovic has had 3, but Aguero has done slightly better for Manchester City than Ibra has for PSG. PSG may, or not PSG, Ibrahimovic may have more goals, but I think Aguero has a better goals to game ratio and also more assists per game. Let's see. Yeah. So that's what puts him ahead, is the slightly more goals per game. But it is very close. You could put Ibrahimovic there. If you think he's better, it's debatable. But this is just by statistics. And the left mid is obviously going to be Ribery because he barely missed out of, well, not barely missed out because it's Ronaldo, but, you know, since there's only one left wing position in the team, and, you know, I wanted to go with the conventional 4-3-3 team for this World 11. Could have actually went with 3-4-3 and got a similar average team rating, which I didn't actually calculate, but, you know, it might have worked out. Might have worked out a little bit better, but then it would have been a different formation. Maybe off a little bit. The next player on the bench is going to be Sidney Sam, who has done very well this season for Leverkusen. Had an amazing start of the season. That was probably where he got most of his accolades for this season. But he has still done pretty well in recent games. Even though Leverkusen's form has dipped from what it was at the beginning of the season. So also Royce is pretty close to what Sam was, actually slightly ahead of him, but then lower than Ribery, so, you know, he's not going to be on the bench there because there's already a left mid and a right mid. So on to the offensive mid, it's going to be David Silva. Now the main reason he's on here is for his key passes per game. I'm pretty sure his key passes per game are the most in the world right now. Well, most in the top 5 leagues. And he does have a decent like passing accuracy, a little bit of goals, a few assists. So he's done really well this season for Manchester City. One of the reasons that they're doing so well. And on to the center back, and it's going to be Samuel. This one's a surprise from Inter, mainly because Inter haven't done it very well, and he's not a very common player anymore. But he is still very good. He's done pretty good this season. Well, done pretty well this season. And yeah, so he was the third highest rated center back, and there was one that was close to him. I think it was Mark Bartra, but he is slightly better, and he's done pretty well despite Inter kind of sucking this season. Now on to the left back, and it's going to be David Alaba, and he was a little bit worse than Kurzawa rating-wise, but obviously if I was picking a team, I'd put Alaba in there. But, you know, they both done about the same this season. Alaba getting more clean sheets, and Kurzawa getting more like tackles, interceptions, clearances, stuff like that. And now on to the goalkeeper, and it's obviously Neuer, who barely, well, not barely, like Casillas has a better rating, but Neuer has still done like really well this season for Bayern Munich. So you would expect him to be there, but Casillas has done better. So that's why he's in there. So anyways, that is the bench, and that is the 11 best 11 in the world right now. So there you go. Ronaldo left wing, Suarez up front with Messi at right wing, Xavi, Bale, Van der Vaart in the midfield, Kurzawa, Benatia, Dante, and Azpilicueta in the defense, and then Casillas in goal. So that'll be the end of the video. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.